Hi, Jude. Thank you for your speech. This is what I'm going to tell you. I'm just looking at your rubric here. I also, again, heard your speech. Give me a second, trying to pull your rubric. No, not this is not the one. Yep. Yes, this is the one. So this is what I'm going to tell you, Jude. Your whole speech, as I told you that, what worked out very well for me is, the fact that, and I think I mentioned to you right after your speech was over, the whole dynamics of having, having a brother, and then, and how you kind of made transitions, and you moved into a new family, made a new family. I would say, yeah, the concept of a family became different for you at different points, and how you transitioned through that, and then the birth of your brother Rocco, and your perhaps your what do I say, your expectations, or for his age level, he would probably have the expectations that we would normally have, right? And how he defied that. The whole story was it has characters, the content was also very relatable. So one of the things that I'm going to tell you is, and I told you what worked out. Now I'm going to talk to you about things that could be improved. First is in terms of your conclusion. You do, the speech does come to, it's not like you leave us abruptly hanging. It doesn't happen like that, but you bring it to a closure. I was trying to figure out, in terms of the three themes that I've given you: silence, disguise, and resilience. I wanted to know, it wasn't very clear to me what theme it is. Okay, so I'm sure you had that in mind, but as an audience, it wasn't very clear. So you had that opportunity to kind of drive home the this theme that you were talking about, kind of talk about it in the insight that you gained through this. And it just seemed to me that you kind of you were able to, and the whole theme of the story was that you were able to develop a new relationship with him based on something. It was a recognition. You did not know that he has, he's not that you were able to relate to him, right? So that theme, I don't know whether it was silence, I don't know whether it was disguise, I don't know whether it was resilience. The closest one that could be is disguise. Okay, because I'm thinking about Rocco having, kind of, you think, your perception of him being the kid, would probably talk about, play with Legos, as you mentioned, but he actually talked about things that, an adult would talk about, and he was able to make jokes out of that. And you talked about, I think you talked about some political thing that I guess something that you would not expect him. So that disguise came out. So if that's the thing, that's the closest that I am thinking, and in terms of my interpretation, you needed to drive home that message. It felt that the message was not very, very clear. So you had the opportunity, especially because you bring us to a closure with your speech, but it just seems very slightly abrupt. So you could have developed that further and say how the disguise, what you gained through it, that you actually were able to see the real him and able to create a bond with him. So that needed to at least come out in the conclusion. Another thing, three things I'm going to talk about. Another thing is that your eye contact was there, but it could have been more. So I did see that you were slightly looking at the note cards of the screen, slightly more than what is expected. Okay, so that's something that, and because of that, I think your body language, facial gestures, expression kind of suffered. That could have been better had you not focused so much on, either looking at the screen or looking at, your notes. So that's another suggestion. And the third thing, which is an important one, is that you finished your speech within 3 minutes. That means you were able to do only 60% of your speech. And I had to make a decision about how you did your speech based on those 60%. The reason I'm telling you this is, let's say, I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say your instructor asks you to write a 10-page paper and you write 6 pages. Okay, you can come back to your instructor and say, hey, professor, I think I made an impact in those 6 pages. And if you have made an impact, and the instructor can say, yes, absolutely, you made an impact in those 6 pages, but I would have liked to see whether the same impact would have continued for another 4 pages. Okay, you made an impact on the 6 pages, absolutely, but would you have still had that momentum and created the same impact if you had written on those four more pages? My response to you is the same. You made an impact in those 3 minutes, okay, but you did not finish. There were 2 minutes that was left, and that was about 60%. Like right now, when we are thinking as 2 minutes is nothing, right? It's just the time that we, the time that it takes to maybe to open the door or go and get inside your car. But in the span of 5 minutes, 3 minutes is almost 60%. So then the grade becomes almost a D minus. That's where you are starting from. Okay, so you need to, and you, of course, you got a higher grade than that, because I saw the potential in you. I saw the things that really worked out kind of made me not just look at, it kind of made me change a little bit of my the criteria. Okay, and so that's one thing that I wanted to tell you that. And so next time, be very conscious about the time. Just write. If you think that you have to practice it as many, everybody has a recording device now. Record your speeches, see whether you're able to fill those 5 minutes. Every speech of mine is about 5 minutes. And if you see that, you're just writing 500 words, which I think should be fine, but you never know. That's why I keep saying that it doesn't matter whether you write 500 words or 1,000 words. If you're able to fill it up nicely, not too slow, not too fast, and finish those 5 minutes, then it doesn't matter to me how many words you're using. Why I give you this number is for you to understand, like, okay, I definitely should not be less than 500 words. Okay, so just key and check. Maybe for you, maybe it'll take 800 words, maybe it'll take 1,000 words, maybe it'll take 1,100 words. Check and see how much do you have, how much do you have to write to fill in those 5 minutes. So that's my suggestion to you. Thank you, Jude.